On the first day of publication of the new book, I saw many old readers, thanks to the Silver Alliance Carl King rewarded, as well as Purple Heart, King of King, Uxi Mumble, Futu, Coquettish Power Bank, Irene, Seen Kong Yawu, Sick from Nothing, Fell in Love with Wang Yuan, People Under the Indus, and the World of Warcraft Clan and other book friends. There are also many names on the fan list. I have read every page of fan names. They are too familiar. Many of them are old readers who have supported Tomato for more than 10 years. They wrote Eat the Stars 10 years ago, or even earlier. During the period of Zhu Dingji, Pan Long, and Star Change, these readers left messages in the book review section and supported Tomato. Now I see them again. Like the old K, he has supported Tomato for too long. For a long time, he rewards every Monday, and Tomato is pleasantly surprised and moved. Purple Heart, I remember being the host of a fan event very early. There are a lot of people, the avatars of Hongmeng that are still used today. I am very touched and grateful. Thank you for your support for so many years. The only thing that Tomato can give back to everyone is to work hard to write a new book. I hope that this new book, Professional Player of the Universe, can be enjoyed by everyone and become excited. Blue Star at 1350 on July 2, 2081, the most prosperous city in Xia, Binhai City. At this time, there were dense clouds, thunder rumbling, and a torrential rain was about to come. Summer thunderstorms come as soon as they say. In a room on the top floor of the Star Hall, a young man was looking at the dark clouds and lightning outside through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Cracking raindrops began to hit the window glass. The young man walked to the center of the room with his hands on the ground, and he stood upside down very slowly and steadily. First, he stood upright with his hands, then put one hand away, and turned into a one-handed handstand with his right hand. Husuk breathing sounded in his ears. Su Jingming felt the body's core muscles tighten, and felt the stimulation of the weight of his whole body on his right arm. The arm was very comfortable for the first 3 minutes, and the muscles of the arm were deeply stimulated, but in the 4th minute, the palm muscles were a little bit painful, and the 5th minute was even more painful, but Su Jingming got used to it early and insisted on it for 5 minutes. Naturally replaced with a left-hand one-handed handstand. Dad's waist, I don't know if it's better today. When he stood on one hand, Su Jingming's thoughts were also floating, and he thought of his father. My father is 60 this year. His waist injury is an old problem. Yesterday I heard from my mom that my father had a waist injury when he was carrying heavy objects. Wait, when I finish my recent work, I will go back to my hometown. Su Jingming thought. One-handed handstand is not a training method taught by the national team, but taught by my father when I was young. Su Jingming was in poor health when he was a child, and his father taught him martial arts to strengthen his body, including the Onirmed inverted pile. Because long-term practice results are quite good, it has become one of the 5 major exercises he practiced every day. It has been practiced for 13 in winter and 3-year-old in summer. It has been practiced for 20 years, even if he is sick or injured. It won't break. As the saying goes, practicing fist without practicing kung fu, until the old age is empty. This so-called gong is the basic daily skill. There is a 3 to 5 day break, and the muscles, bones, and other aspects will decline. After practicing the Onirmed handstand pile, Su Jingming walked to the desk and sat down, drank a few sips of water, and watched the rainstorm outside the window. When the humidity got heavy, my leg started to hurt. Su Jingming looked at his right leg, stretched out his hand and rubbed it gently. I have never stopped daily rehabilitation exercises, but my right leg is not getting better. If the right leg is not injured, I should be expected to be the number 1 in the world. Su Jingming said silently. Injuries are what every martial artist is most afraid of in his career. The injury of broken leg was a nightmare for Su Jingming. Did it die? Suddenly there was a sound. Su Jingming raised his head and said, Xiao Bai, answer the video call. Light condensed in front of Su Jingming and gathered into a Tumaturai picture. In the picture, a burly fat man was sitting in the car and shouted with a smile, "Old Su, we have already set off from the hotel. It is estimated that it will take about 20 minutes. I can arrive at your Star Space Fighting Hall. Haha, we haven't seen each other for more than a year. We can have a good drink tonight. Don't worry, Big Bear, I have already booked a barbecue restaurant." Su Jingming smiled when he saw his boyhood friend, and said, "It's raining heavily, you should be careful on the road." "Don't worry." The burly big fat guy continued, "These guys in the provincial training team admire you very much. They want to see your marksmanship. Later, you have to give them pointers so that they can understand the world's top players. Difference. The younger generations are now more powerful than the generations. It would be nice if I didn't capsize." Su Jingming said with a smile. "How can the ship capsize? I hope you can capsize the ship." "You capsized it. On behalf of our provincial team, there is another genius." The big fat man laughed and said, "Okay, no more chatting, we'll see you later." "See you later." Su Jingming stretched out his hand, and the picture in midair disappeared. Conducted training for the Jiangnan provincial training team for 10 days and charged a fee of 50,000 blue star coins. In fact, this amount of money is not enough even the venue fee. But for the fighting hall, training for the provincial training team is also an advertising sign, and it can also attract more fighting enthusiasts to the fighting hall as members. Professional players have to make money when they retire. Su Jingming got up and went to the bath to change clothes. Professional fighting players sound beautiful, but they actually earn some appearance fees at their peak. Those with a career income of more than 100 million yuan are very rare in the world, and most of the professional players just have enough food and clothing. As for retirement, making money is even more difficult. Although Su Jingming is also a world-class martial arts master, his highest in the world martial arts competition is only the quarterfinals. The income of the fighting world is pyramid-shaped, and there are very few at the top of the tower. The first-ranked income is exaggerated, the second, third, and fourth, will plummet. Su Jingming stood at the entrance of the Star Space Fighting Hall, and was accompanied by several staff members. From a distance, he saw an electric bus approaching from the rain. The electric bus stopped, the door opened, and more than 10 people from the Jiangnan provincial training team got off one after another. Big Bear. Su Jingming saw the burly fat man who got out of the car first, his good brother Lu Chongyuan. "Old Su." Lu Chongyuan walked over and embraced Su Jingming excitedly, slapped Su Jingming's back with a big slap. Su Jingming's face was bitter, and he could only treat it as a massage. Lu Chongyuan, who is 2 meters and 3 meters tall and weighs more than 180 kilograms, looks like a big upright bear. Back then, he was also a professional martial arts master, with a shield and an axe in one hand. When he ranked the highest in the World Budo League, he also reached 39th place, so he was able to secure his position in the Provincial Sports Bureau. "This is Coach Su." Lu Chongyuan grinned and said, "Coach Su, who is thinking of you all day and night?" "Su Jingming." "Gun Demon Su Jingming. I saw the real person." The members of the provincial team were a little excited. As people in the industry, they naturally admire this predecessor. Su Jingming looked at these players as if he had seen himself back then. Young and full of vigor. "What is like myself, in the martial arts competition, with a single injury can only retire." Su Jingming smiled, "Aiken, take them to choose weapons." "Yes, Brother Su." The young staff member responded. "Big Xiong, let's go to the 3rd floor to wait for them." The good brothers Su Jingming and Lu Chongyuan were happy to go to the 3rd floor first. The weapon room of the Star Space Fighting Hall has a total area of 500 square meters. The number of cold weapons such as knives, guns, swords, sticks, shields, axes, hammers, and shackles is astonishing. The surface layer is also wrapped with a layer of cushioning material, which greatly improves the degree of safety. Like long spears, the barrels of these competition guns have data, length, diameter of the small head, and weight. There are hundreds of long spears, lined up against the wall. It is worthy of the Star Space Fighting Hall, the first-class fighting hall in Binhai City, with enough weapons. The 11 members of the provincial training team all use long spears, so they participated in Su Jingming's training. On the point of view of marksmanship alone, all professional martial arts masters in history, Su Jingming is recognized as the top 10. The data on the long spear of the game was clear, and the 11 team members quickly selected their common weapons. The first time I saw Su Jingming in reality, it looked very ordinary, without the deterrence in the video. A tall man tried his spear and said at the same time, "It feels a lot thinner than in the video." Another immature teenager said, "I'm thin." A strong man nodded. When he didn't retire, I watched him several matches on the spot. According to the public information of the Budo League, he is 1.78 meters tall and weighs 93 kilograms. Now he is. I have lost a lot of weight, estimated at most 85 kilograms. These provincial team members are discussing. They all know that a height of 1.78 meters and a weight of more than 80 kilograms may be slightly fatter for ordinary people. But for professional martial arts masters, the bones and muscles are heavy and the muscle ratio is high, but they are slightly thinner. If you lose weight, your strength must have fallen. I don't know how much strength there is. Some professional players give up training after retiring, their bodies are deformed, and their strength is much worse. These players are talking about it. I also want to see how far I am from the World Budo Contest players. Who thinks he is a bit lighter, and I don't know how much strength is left. The strong man was a bit unwilling. He was also selected for a national training team last year. Yes, the goal is also the highest event in the fighting world martial arts competition. Originally, Su Jingming, who had entered the world martial arts competition twice, had expectations, but now he is a bit disappointed. Weight loss, how much strength does Su Jingming have? Is there still the domineering and strong spear monster back then? Even if the strength declines, the experience is still there. The tall man smiled and said, "It is enough to point us. Maybe they won't fight with us." The immature boy muttered, "You reading www.atuyugonshu.com, they have seen more coaches of the older generation who can teach them, but few can actually fight with them." On the third floor of the Star Fighting Hall, there is a martial arts arena that meets the specifications of international martial arts competitions. The arena is 20 meters long and 20 meters wide, and is surrounded by 6 meters of barbed wire. Provincial training team members walked into this third floor and saw Coach Lu and Su Jingming standing there. "Line up," Su Jingming said very familiarly. He was also a member of the Jiangnan provincial team at the time, and was later selected as the main player of the national team. These 11 team members are all holding their spears, lined up in a row, and they are orderly. Perhaps Su Jingming's strength has been greatly reduced after retirement, but the past achievements of the opponent still make these players admire and convince them, and they are naturally obedient. "Starting from today, I will be your coach. The training will last for 10 days. Except for today's training time in the afternoon, tomorrow will be from 9 am to 11 am. Su Jingming glanced over them. "I don't want any people arrive late and leave early." "Yes." All 11 team members responded in unison. "Okay, let's meet for the first time, let me try your hand, let me see your strength." Su Jingming said, "I am also good at teaching in accordance with my aptitude. Try your hand at the end." The players looked at each other in surprise and joy. Actual battle in the ring. Su Jingming has the courage to fight. These players can hardly hide their joy. Since Su Jingming dared to do this, it means that after retiring, he still maintained most of his strength at the peak. Tomato's new book is officially released. The new book has been prepared for a long time, and I have tremendous confidence. I also hope that everyone will support me. Daily update, tentatively scheduled for one chapter at around 10 a.m. and one chapter at around 12 o'clock every day. Su Jingming looked at them and guessed what these young people were thinking. He smiled and said, I have read your information. Now there are 11 people in the Jiangnan provincial team with long spears. All are here this time. There are 3 of you. It's a high school student who was specially recruited. The 3 little guys will come in order first, in armor. Budo competition, must wear armor, helmet and even neck protection, etc. are indispensable. Cold weapon fighting, without attacking, and wrapped with cushioning material, but the impact is still terrifying. Without professional equipment, people will die. Su Jingming also put on armor, put on his helmet, and looked at these players through the facial mesh. All are in the arena. Su Jingming walked along the iron net gate into the arena with a long spear. 11 players and Coach Lu, the leader, also walked in. The others are standing aside. Feng Yu comes first, and Lu Hao prepares. Su Jingming said. There should be only 2 competing players in the regular competition arena, but this is just a guide. The range of 20 meters by 20 meters. For Su Jingming, it is not necessary to point the provincial team members to such a large area, so let the others. The team members also came in and watched. There is no barbed wire obstruction in the arena, and you can watch it more clearly. You can see clearly, your marksmanship can be half as good as Coach Su, and you can enter the World Budo contest, said the team leader Lu Chongyuan. The other players also watched carefully, seeing the gunman Su Jingming up close. Master shots are also very rare. A young man also wearing armor and holding a spear, walked to the opposite of Su Jingming, 10 meters away from each other. Referee system, turn on. Su Jingming said. Light and shadow descended from the top of the ring, condensed into a huge face overlooking below, and said, the game begins. Nowadays, martial arts competitions are all smart referees. The smart referee's camera can slow down 1,000 times and make accurate judgments. There has been no mistake so far. Come on. Su Jingming looked at this immature teenager Feng Yu. The high school students who were specially recruited were generally relatively weak, but they were recruited specifically because of their high potential, and were focused on training. Be careful with the coach. When I participated in the competition, many players couldn't catch my shot. The immature boy Feng Yu was quite confident. If you have the ability, you can talk to me first. Su Jingming teased. Feng Yu stepped forward confidently, extremely fast and fierce, rushing to the front in just a few steps. The forward momentum turned into a spear in his hand, and the air screamed. Feng Yu had to practice 500 shots a day with this improved stabbing, and every shot was going all out. He started practicing the gun at the age of 12. After 5 years, this gun pierced as fast as an afterimage. Thick iron armor can be pierced. Even if the gun is used for the game, the tip of the gun is round and wrapped with a buffer layer, but the impact force still exceeds 800 kilograms. Boom! The sound of the piercing gun tearing wind could be heard clearly, but Su Jingming only took a step back. The spear tip stopped at a distance of 20 centimeters from Su Jingming, without touching Su Jingming at all. Hey! Feng Yu was stunned slightly, and immediately turned his marksmanship into a spear circle, tapping the tip of the gun and pointing towards Su Jingming. Every point of the spearhead was a threatening attack, but Su Jingming was like a civet cat, simply moving his steps, and all the spears were missed. A high school student in the provincial team. Su Jingming thought of himself back then. Back then, he was so immature. Didn't he have a serious leg injury and weak footwork? Why can't I touch him, every time he is only 20 or 30 centimeters away? Feng Yu was unwilling to attack again and again. His marksmanship was dazzling, but he just couldn't touch Su Jingming. Sense. After waiting for dozens of guns, Su Jingming, who had been moving, made his first shot. The spear in his hand was raised, and the moment he touched the spear that Feng Yuang stabbed, the shadow of the spear in Su Jingming's hand was blurred and suddenly burst into a terrorist explosive force. Boom! The low impact sound was the sound of a gun barrel hitting, and the long spear in Feng Yu's hand was thrown away. Feng Yu's eyes were round, and his hands holding the gun were trembling. He stared at the spear that fell to the ground in the distance. I have at least 200 kilograms of grip with one hand. How can it be possible to get rid of it with one touch? Just now, he was holding a spear in both hands, and the barrel of the gun hit only once, his hands numb, and the spear flew out. It's a little bit bells and whistles, your footwork is weak, and your marksmanship is average. Su Jingming commented that this kind of opponent is not worthy of his full armor, but the martial arts competition cannot tolerate carelessness, and carelessness may regret it for a lifetime. I don't know much about marksmanship. Lu Chongyuan, the coach on the side, laughed, but the kid's footwork is weak. In our eyes, it's just like slow motion. Feng Yu looked at Su Jingming with some doubts. Coach, even if my footwork is weak, but I am holding a 2-meter long gun, why don't I touch you? Your arm and spear are just that long. The maximum attack distance is fixed. Su Jingming explained, according to your pace, you can determine the maximum range that your spear can touch. As long as you keep the distance, you won't be able to touch it at all. This is the basic skill of a professional player. The maximum attack distance is fixed. If you keep the distance, you can't touch it. Feng Yu murmured. He felt that Su Jingming moved very easily, but he couldn't touch it after he tried his marksmanship. The essence of footwork is neural response, space control, and body balance control. Su Jingming said, you are very rough in these 3 aspects. Just like your coach Lu said, your footwork, in the eyes of professional level, it's just like slow motion. After the college entrance examination is over, this kid has just recruited the provincial team. Lu Chongyuan said on the side, he is a wild road, and he has to practice his pace. Feng Yulian asked, Coach Su, what are the problems with my marksmanship? Weak footwork, he admits. But marksmanship is his most confident. Your marksmanship? Strictly speaking, there is only the first stabbing gun, and the full force of the forward thrust of the body is concentrated in that shot. It is considered to be of professional level. Other aspects such as poke gun, crash, block, etc. are very good. Weak. Su Jingming said, weapon fighting is not a playhouse, it is the most dangerous fighting. Serious injuries and disabilities happen occasionally. Since they are their coaches, they have to clarify their problems. The other 10 players felt the pressure of Su Jingming, and at the same time they were eager to try. Boom! The second high school student had a spear in his hand, and the moment he touched Su Jingming's spear, he also flung it away. Even if you are ready, trying hard to hold tight, trying hard to release your strength is useless. Boom 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 boom. Long spear after shot, tossed one after another. These provincial team members were all dumbfounded. Including the 2 veteran players Huang Feng and Zhang Qi who had participated in the national training team, none of them could fight back in front of Su Jingming. Among them, only Zhang Qi made Su Jingming fire 2 shots. The first shot opened Zhang Qi's long spear. Zhang Qi tried his best to hold the long spear and didn't fly out, but the door opened wide. Su Jingming's second shot stabbed Zhang Qi in the chest. The impact made his armor. With the red light on, Zhang Qi lost. The other players, Su Jingming just fired a shot. Moreover, it was a shot that was used for defensive block, and the long spears of the team members were thrown out, and they couldn't hold it at all. This is the Spear Demon. The World Budo Contest has been held for nearly 30 years. In terms of marksmanship, all professional players in history, Su Jingming is recognized as being in the top 10. Although I have imagined it, I found out that the gap is too big. Su Jingming, the most famous trick of the spear demon is the shadowless sting, but we don't need to use that trick when facing us. If the marksmanship can reach half of his, it will be enough to enter the World Budo contest. The eyes of these players were excited and frantic. After experiencing it firsthand, you can understand how terrifying the top 10 marksmanship in history are. They even felt that Su Jingming, the spear demon, should still maintain the strength at the peak, and it is even possible to be stronger than at the peak. 2 hours later. Today's preliminary training, I believe everyone is aware of their own shortcomings. Su Jingming looked at the provincial team members, the players were all excited and enthusiastic, and felt that the training was really worth it. For the next 9 days, we will focus on one basic training every day. When the training is over, you will have to practice every day when you go back. Marksmanship needs to be practiced over the years. The strength of the whole body will naturally be transferred to each shot, which requires understanding. It also needs hard work, Su Jingming said. Yes, coach. All the 11 players responded in unison. Obviously all of them were convinced and admired Su Jingming. Okay, disband. Su Jingming nodded. You take the car back to the hotel first. Lu Chongyuan, the leader on the side, ordered. Good. These team members put down their weapons one by one, and left together in 2s and 3s. Aiken, take Coach Lu to sit for a while. Su Jingming said, Big Bear, I am a sweaty body. I will take a bath and change my clothes. I will meet downstairs later. The barbecue restaurant next to our fighting hall is me. My favorite barbecue restaurant in Binhai. Oh? You have to taste it. Lu Chongyuan, who looks like a big bear, is also looking forward to it. These professional players train a lot and eat a lot, and all of them like meat. Su Jingming hurried to take a bath. Yu reads www.yuyuganshu.com for 2 hours of training. Although he is a coach, Su Jingming's whole body is already soaked. But he is also used to it. In martial arts training, clothes are soaked and squeezed dry, and then soaked and then squeezed dry are very common. After washing, Su Jingming changed into short-sleeved pants and walked out, and he saw the middle-aged man smoking outside the door. Brother, why are you here? Su Jingming smiled in surprise. The person in front of him was Fang Xinglong, the owner of the Star Space Fighting Hall. The Star Space Fighting Hall is a first-class fighting hall in Binhai City, with a construction area of more than 11,000 square meters. Su Jingming, a professional martial arts player, is not so generous. He was invited to be the master of the hall. Fang Xinglong's main business is a wine cellar. He is a multi-billion-dollar boss. He loves martial arts weapons and is willing to spend money. He is also quite famous in the martial arts circle, and he also pays homage to the fierce tiger Lu Hai. It has been nearly 30 years since the World Budo contest was founded. Lu Hai has served as the head coach of the national team for 20 years. Most of the national team members have to call him master. Lu Hai was already 45 years old at the first World Budo contest. As a master of martial arts of the older generation, he was ecstatic to find such contests. He has entered the World Budo contest for 5 consecutive times, and has come from all over the world. Masters go for it. In the early days, because the protection rules were not perfect, it was more dangerous than the current competition. Lu Hai has won 3rd place twice, second twice, and world first once. He only announced his retirement after he won the world number 1. He was the head coach of the national team at the age of 50 and only announced his retirement at the age of 70. Su Jingming was the main player of the national team and Lu Hai's lover. Fang Xinglong is an amateur player, but he loves fighting very much, and he also tries his best to worship Liu Heimen. Jingming. Fang Xinglong smoked and glanced at his good brother. Did you offend anyone? Who did I offend? Su Jingming asked. Fang Xinglong looked at Su Jingming and said a name, Cheng Zihao. Su Jingming understood completely in his heart, and asked calmly, "Brother, did he look for you?" Fang Xinglong nodded. Su Jingming nodded and said, "I am in conflict with him. You are a professional martial arts player, you were selected for the provincial team in high school, and then you joined the national team. You have been in the professional martial arts circle for so many years. How could you have a conflict with Cheng Zihao?" Fang Xinglong couldn't understand, the two sides were not in a circle at all. Su Jingming smiled and said, "Life is full of infinite possibilities. Don't be hippie smiling." Fang Xinglong was a little anxious and worried. "Can't you resolve the contradiction between you and him?" "It can't be resolved." Su Jingming shook his head. Fang Xinglong pinched the cigarette in his hand and looked at his junior brother, "Jingming, that's Cheng Zihao. If you offend him, you will be blocked on the internet." "I know, the Cheng family." Su Jingming said with emotion, "The Cheng family controls the Tiger Shark Group, a company with a market value of more than 5 trillion yuan, and the top 3 Big Mac groups on the internet are indeed terrifying. Cheng family, the top 10 richest in Xia country, family wealth exceeds 500 billion. Xiaoguo's first live broadcast platform Tiger Shark was founded by the legendary Cheng family Cheng Yongziu more than 60 years ago. For more than 60 years, the Tiger Shark Group has never fallen, but has grown stronger. Now it has formed an internet giant group with the Tiger Shark platform as the core and radiating e-commerce, music, games, and other industries. The market value of the Tiger Shark Group exceeds RMB 5 trillion. As the founding family, the Cheng family also owns 8.2% of the shares and has voting rights. It has been more than 50%, firmly grasping the control of Tiger Shark Group. Tiger Shark Group has been under the control of its founder Cheng Yongzia for 30 years. After his death, his only son Cheng Liwei has been in charge of it. Cheng Zihao is the son of Cheng Liwei, 32 years old this year. On the internet, Tiger Shark Group is the top 3 Big Mac group. It is also ranked first on the live broadcast platform. You are a martial arts player, you don't even know how terrifying its influence is. Fang Xinglong looked at my younger brother is a little impatient. Of course I know. Su Jingming smiled and said, "I was blocked. Since then, there have been no commercial activities and no publicity on the internet. The reputation will quickly disappear. Budo player, fame is very important. The greater the reputation, the higher the income." On the results of the martial arts competition, Su Jingming is very strong, but he can only be considered as the third line among the top martial arts players in the history of Xiaoguo. The legendary Master Lu Hai is the first line. After all, 40-somethings are the top 3 in 5 consecutive competitions, and he has also won the world number 1. There are 3 first-line players, all of whom are legends. They all cost more than 100 million in a peak match, and their cumulative career income is even more terrifying. The top players in history, the second-tier players, are those who have won the world's top 3, or have struggled to win the world first and then retired. They are often mentioned by people, and the appearance fee for the peak matchup is generally more than 10 million. Su Jingming entered the World Budo contest twice, once in the top 16 and once in the top 8. The highest one-time appearance fee is only 1.5 million yuan, and the single highest income is still the top 8 bonuses of the World Martial Arts competition. After struggling for so many years, all income has accumulated to tens of millions, and the strength and status can be seen from the income. On the performance, Xiaoguo's historical player is third line. On fame? If you are blocked on the internet, your reputation will quickly disappear. The martial arts players also have to eat, and sometimes take a step back and the sky is brighter. Fang Xinglong persuaded. Brother. Su Jingming said seriously, you know, there are some things that you can't retire. Fang Xinglong was taken aback, nodded slightly and worried, it's still a small matter to just block you, I'm afraid Cheng Zihao will trouble you again. Su Jingming smiled and said, the big deal, I go back to my hometown of Minjihu City. In Minjihu City, there are thousands of disciples in my Beiji Gate and Poke Foot Gate. I see how he troubles me. Moreover, in modern society, monitoring everywhere, what can he do? Then what are you going to do when you return to Minjiu City? Fang Xinglong asked. Open a martial arts gym and do some high-end personal training, and you can eat enough. Su Jingming said, I am also a spearman anyway. I can eat by technology and I can eat everywhere. Fang Xinglong shook his head slightly. In a second-tier city like Minjiu City, it's not bad that you can earn 1 million a year with hard work. I have earned so many years, and I have a lot of interest and dividends. Su Jingming said, Brother, don't worry about me. Su Jingming and Cheng Zihao tore their faces and they were ready. Make less money. Influenced by his father since he was a child, he became a disciple of the two traditional martial arts sects in Minjiu City, the Bajiman and the Poke Footman. Since the World Martial Arts Competition became the world's largest fighting event, the domestic traditional martial arts genre has once again shined, and various weapon fighting skills have been unearthed. Modern society does not care how many sects a disciple worships. Su Jingming's father, a martial arts blogger when he was young, traveled all over the world and visited various fighting genres around the world. He has joined more than a dozen martial arts sects in his country, and he has the true tradition of Beiji. After he settled in Minjiu City, he also established Beiji Gate in Minjiu City. In modern society, there are many genres of martial arts all over the country, and there are hundreds of Bajiman with an orderly heritage. Su Jingming is the heir of the Beiji Gate of Minjiu City, and also the disciple of the master of Poke Jiao Gate of Minjiu City. Open a martial arts hall to accept students, engage in high-end personal education, and all can eat. Perhaps, returning home to practice marksmanship is more suitable for me. If I can reach a higher level, I can come back and hit the world's number one. Su Jingming thought. He has never given up his dream of being number one in the world. Master Lu Hai, who is in his 40s, has entered the World Budo contest for 5 consecutive times, and he just won the world number one in the end. I'm only 29 this year, how can I give up? If you get the first place in the world, the championship prize will be 500 million, which will attract global attention. The official media will be overwhelmed with propaganda, which can be suppressed by Cheng Zihao. As for now, I am a retired professional player who is not high enough to be blocked. Brother, what did Cheng Zihao say to you? Su Jingming looked at Fang Xinglong. Cheng Zihao let me pass a message to me, let me quit you. Fang Xinglong said ashamed, Jingming, you know, I sell alcohol, and part of the sales channels are the live broadcast platform and e-commerce platform of the Tiger Shark Group. And a lot of publicity has to go through the Tiger Shark Group. Although I am very frustrated, I can't provoke Cheng Zihao. After all, the company is not my own. Brother, I know your difficulties. Su Jingming nodded. I rely on technology to eat. With the top 10 marksmanship in the world in the past 30 years, I am not afraid of being out of food. Just eat more and less. But the brother Fang Xinglong is a businessman, and the liquor company is the foundation of the brother's career. On the contrary, he is more constrained in front of the Tiger Shark Group. This time the provincial team training is over, I will leave. Su Jingming said. Fang Xinglong was a little tired. Can you tell brother, what is the contradiction between you and Cheng Zihao? I don't want to say. Su Jingming shook his head, I can only say that he is a lunatic. Crazy man. Fang Xinglong nodded thoughtfully, okay, I won't say much, this time it's the brother who can't help you. It's not about the brother, but I'm tired of the brother. Su Jingming knows that Fang Xinglong is a person, bold and sincere, and his character is beyond doubt. Otherwise, he would not accept his invitation to be the owner of this fighting hall. Brother, I have to go to accompany the leader Lu to dinner, so I'll leave first, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, let's talk on the phone. Su Jingming said with a smile, and left. Fang Xinglong stood there and watched Su Jingming leave. Cheng Zihao. Fang Xinglong whispered softly, he had a wealth of billions in his early 40s in the business world, and he was also very proud of him. He loves martial arts weapon fighting, and for his hobby, he spends a lot of money to build the Star Space Fighting Hall. This time, Cheng Zihao had to dismiss his younger brother obediently. How could he not hold his breath? Can't afford to offend. Fang Xinglong whispered silently, holding back his breath, and bowing his head when it was time to lower his head. He knew this very well after he had been in the business world for many years. It was just that he was confused by his current identity. Cheng Zihao, if you are unruly and play yin, one day you will stumble. Fang Xinglong said secretly. Fang Xinglong was also thinking about how to help junior brother. He has no more than 10 friends, and Su Jingming is one of them. Naturally, he doesn't want to see his junior suffer such a big loss. The night is dim, and Su Jingming opens the door to a townhouse in the eastern suburbs of Binhai City. In the bedroom, a slim woman in pajamas lay halfway down, leaning on the backrest, wearing a pair of relatively large glasses, and holding a handle in each hand. Jingming, wait for me to finish this game. The woman in pajamas has bright eyes, and the glasses are virtual glasses, which are divided into immersive mode and reality mode. Reality mode is to make the game scene partially transparent so that you can see the outside world. Meow meow, you have to exercise more, always lying like this, it is not good for your health. Su Jingming said. Okay, I see. The woman in the pajamas answered casually, her hands moving. Su Jingming was rather helpless. The woman in pajamas is his girlfriend Li Miao Miao. Su Jingming left the bedroom and walked to the basement. The basement was over 100 square meters. 3 spears were placed on the wall. Su Jingming picked up one. The spear was silver grey and 2.5 meters long, with a buffer layer on the tip of the spear. Although he was very relaxed and casual when chatting with senior brother Fang, and also had a meal and chat with his good brother Lu Chongyuan that night, Su Jingming was holding a fire in his heart. Xiao Bai, turn on training monitoring. Su Jingming said. Xiao Bai received it. There are lights and shadows in the basement that light up, and the cameras are running. Su Jingming stretched his spear with both hands, and the spear shook with a boom. Su Jingming's gun-holding posture is anti-frame. Most of the traditional guns use the right hand to hold the end of the long gun, and the left hand to hold the waist of the gun. But Su Jingming was holding the waist of the gun in his right hand and the end of the gun in his left. I saw him walking swiftly forward. At the same time as he was going forward, he immediately released his force and speared out his spear. Puff! Puff! The spear is like an arrow, as if 7 or 8 arrows in a row, to shoot through all the enemies in front. Each spear tears the air with a scream. The data displayed on the wall: light and shadow 18.2 meters per second, 18.6 meters per second, 17.9 meters per second, 18.1 meters per second, precisely test the maximum speed of each gun. Boom! Suddenly Su Jingming's spear pierced forward suddenly, with a harsh explosion, and the shadow of the spear became blurred. The wall light and shadow data showed 25.3 meters per second. Su Jingming's most famous trick, Wuying Thorn. People in the circle will understand how terrifying such a gun speed is. If you find an opportunity in close combat, and display this gun, even the world's top masters can't hold it. Su Jingming walked to a suspended heavy sandbag in 2 steps. With a turn of his waist, it was like a huge rotating gear. The force of his whole body was transmitted to his arms. The spear collapsed and swept on the sandbag. The suspended heavy sandbag weighed 300 kilograms. There is a suspension track above, which is a specially customized overweight sandbag. Boom! A deep roaring voice. The wall light and shadow data show 625 kg. It is this sudden collapse that has 1,000 caddies of terrifying power that can make the guns of the provincial team members fly with one touch. Su Jingming moved, venting his guns on the heavy sandbags. Every time he swept and collapsed, a deep and powerful sound erupted. The 300 kg sandbags were constantly swayed by the bombardment, and the light and shadow on the wall were swayed. The data keeps showing, 656 kg, 689 kg, 630 kg. Suddenly paused, Su Jingming took a step forward suddenly, his whole body was like a cannonball, and the long spear seemed to be integrated with the whole body. It was the tip of the cannonball and hit the sandbag. Boom! The heavy sandbags were bombarded so they slid along the suspension track to the other end and raised high. A number appeared on the light and shadow on the wall, 1138 kg. Another trick of Su Jingming, break the mountain. Under the guidance of his father, Su Jingming learned Beiji, poke his feet, and practice Liuhe big gun since he was a child. In modern society, the genres of martial arts also absorb each other's essence, such as exerting strength in inches and exerting strength. Many genres have similar training methods. At the age of 20, Su Jingming broke his right leg by his opponent's shield in the World Martial Arts competition. Su Jingming studied physics when he was in university. He analyzed traditional martial arts skills from a physical point of view. He has always believed that all efforts are in line with science. The bones, joints, and muscles of the body are also levers, bearings, and power sources. Relying on the deep foundation he has accumulated since childhood, a deeper understanding of physics from the perspective of physics, and constantly trying to fine-tune his skills, he finally created the shadowless stabbing technique based on the traditional injection of strength. Used the technique of 8-8 Iron Mountain's reliance to create the trick of breaking the mountain. In addition, other marksmanship skills have also been improved to a certain extent. Blocking, holding, breaking, splitting, swiping, every strokes are all stronger. With such marksmanship, Su Jingming even has a leg injury and a major defect in his bodywork. After his comeback at the age of 20, he once again entered the World Budo contest the following year and reached the quarterfinals. The importance of footwork can be said to account for half of actual combat. Su Jingming's footwork has major flaws, and he can reach the quarterfinals. You can see how terrifying his marksmanship is. He was also rated as one of the top 10 martial arts fighters in marksmanship in the past 30 years by the World Budo Federation and won the title of Spear Demon. But at that competition, Su Jingming also saw clearly, holding a wounded leg, unless there is a qualitative change in marksmanship, there is no hope of being number one in the world. Participating in more games will only make the injury worse. After that big game, he announced his retirement. A professional martial arts player, the Golden Age, 26 years old, Su Jingming retired with injuries. In the basement, Su Jingming had beads of sweat on his face, walked to the wall, and gently put the spear away. Looking at the 3 training spears in front of him, Su Jingming was silent. What if his marksmanship is more powerful? In modern society, martial arts fighting is nothing more than a sport. Facing Cheng Zihou's persecution, he can only endure it, and there is no other way. Jingming. Li Miao Miao in pajamas walked down the stairs and looked at Su Jingming, who was sweaty. What's wrong with you? According to common sense, after a day of practice in the fighting hall, Su Jingming usually rested when he came back, and rarely practiced guns. And looking at her boyfriend's back on the wall at the moment, she faintly felt that Su Jingming seemed to be in a bad mood. Go up and tell you again. Su Jingming turned off the light and brought Li Miao Miao to the living room on the first floor. Living room. Xiao Wu, bring 2 bottles of juice. Su Jingming said, sitting on the sofa. Li Miao Miao also sat down and asked, Jingming, what happened? At this time, a female robot holding a bottle of juice in one hand came to Su Jingming and Li Miao Miao, and handed the 2 juices. The male host and the hostess often drink the juice. The butler's little five is still very familiar. Xiaowu is a housekeeping robot, doing housework, cooking, chatting, being a bodyguard. It can do everything, and it has reached level 3 intelligence. The price of this class of intelligent robot is comparable to a luxury supercar. Say quickly. Li Miao Miao poked Su Jingming's shoulder while drinking a drink. Unsurprisingly, Cheng Zihao went on to take action and forced me to lose my job. Su Jingming shook his head and said, really a lunatic, there is no lower limit to doing things. Not to mention, I was invited by my senior to come to the fighting gym. With my marksmanship, I can eat wherever I go. Don't get angry. Li Miao Miao hugged her boyfriend's arm and comforted, it's not worth it to be angry with a scum. Su Jingming looked at his girlfriend and nodded. Girlfriend Li Miao Miao is a talented singer. He has no contracted company or agent. He went to the Binhai Conservatory of Music at university. For the first time in college, the song Li Mu, a self-created song, was broadcast continuously on the internet, and it went viral. Her voice is very clean, and her songs have a special magical power to soothe the soul. During college, she wrote more than 30 songs, and the income was tens of millions by downloading songs alone. She belongs to a very special category in the music circle. She does not participate in any variety shows, has no company, no agent, and sings live once a month. She usually posts some videos occasionally. In addition to singing videos, there are game videos. Her favorite game is Budo OL. In the game, she is a catwoman and female swordsman with a high rank. Professional martial arts players, playing Budo OL is also quite a lot. Su Jingming occasionally went to play and met Li Miao Miao who played a trumpet. Li Miao Miao had never seen a player with such a powerful spear, so he immediately added friends and used various methods. With Su Jingming teaming up, the game became acquainted. Su Jingming was also moved by the Catwoman swordsman, and the two gradually came together. Cheng Zihao is a scumbag. Li Miao Miao said, holding her boyfriend's arm. It's only broadcast once a month. Although he has never seen him in reality, Cheng Zihao still pursues Li Miao Miao frantically. Knowing that Li Miao Miao has a boyfriend, and knowing that Li Miao Miao and her boyfriend are getting married, Cheng Zihao still doesn't give up. Su Jingming said with emotion, Miao Miao, you simply blacked him, you also changed the platform directly, and opened an account on another live broadcast platform Way World. I only broadcast live once a month. Li Miao Miao smiled, if you change the platform, you can slowly accumulate fans. The Micro World platform also has nearly half of the traffic of the Tiger Shark platform, which is not bad. The accounts of tens of millions of fans accumulated over a few years, if you want to change it, it is you. Su Jingming said. I make money by song division, live broadcast, let the fate. Li Miao Miao drank the juice and said, life, the most important thing is to be happy. If you are not happy, of course you will change the platform. Su Jingming was still very moved. Li Miao Miao faced threats and temptations, did not hesitate to blacken the opponent, and then directly changed platforms. In fact, our income is high enough, so we don't have to make ourselves too tired. Li Miao Miao comforted her boyfriend. Yet, Su Jingming nodded. The two of them had discussed it a long time ago, and they blacked out Cheng Zihao's contact information, and it was clear that they could not see. Are you planning to return to Minjai City next? Li Miao Miao asked. Well, it's easy to go back to Minjai City to open a martial arts hall to do high-end personal education. Su Jingming asked, are you planning to go back with me this time? We have to get the certificate on New Year's Day. Go back to see your in-laws in advance. Su Jingming and Li Miao Miao have a very good relationship, and they have agreed to receive a certificate on New Year's Day, which means forever. Both parents have met and agreed. We will go back to Minjai City, and that will be a long-term stay. Li Miao Miao looked at one place in the living room. Many things here will also be moved over. I also want to say goodbye to my friends in Binhai City. I've been by the sea, for so many years, I'm really reluctant to leave suddenly. If you really can't bear it. Su Jingming said. Go back, I want to go home too. Li Miao Miao smiled and said, Minjiahu City, my parents, grandparents, and grandparents are also there, and I want to go back too. The two of them did have a relationship, and they both came from Minjiahu City in the game. You go back first, and clean the house in Minjiahu City. Everything is ready. Li Miao Miao said, I want to say goodbye to my friends, and the assistant has to make arrangements. She hired 2 assistants herself to take care of some of her business affairs. When she goes to Minjiahu City, the 2 assistants also need to follow. All moving and renting houses need to be arranged. Okay. Su Jingming nodded. The house he bought has been empty for several years, but his parents will often take robots to clean. Let's take a shower first. See, you are sweaty and smell of alcohol. Didn't you say not to drink? Li Miao said angrily. This time the big bear came. I haven't seen him for more than a year, so I drank some beer. Su Jingming said, I'll take a shower first. He immediately ran away from the living room. Li Miao Miao sat on the sofa, thinking about returning to life in Minjiahu City with Su Jingming. Drop. Li Miao Miao appeared in front of him, in which a pair of middle-aged men and women appeared. Dad, Mom. Li Miao Miao shouted happily, have you had dinner? I have eaten early. The middle-aged man asked, Miao Miao, your uncle came to our house tonight. Uncle? Hasn't he been out of our house for many years? When I was in college, he didn't come to dinner with relatives. Li Miao Miao was puzzled. There was a big man with the uncle's wife. He also became a huge wealthy, with a net worth of more than 1 billion. The uncle and his wife looked down on the poor relatives of the Li family at all, and they hardly communicated with each other. How can I come if nothing happens? Mother Li hummed, I'm here this time just for your business. My business? Li Miao Miao wondered. He wants you to be the girlfriend of Cheng Zihao's son. He came to our house to persuade us. Li Mu said angrily. This old shameless guy wants to sell his daughter for glory and sell himself. Daughter, go. Let my daughter jump into the fire pit. That Cheng Zihao is a playboy, and he said that he is not materialistic more than once in a variety show. Is this kind of worthy of my daughter? Father Li also said, my mother and I scolded your uncle away. Cheng Zihao didn't live a life, but Xiao Su lived a solid life. Your mother and I support you. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Li Miao Miao smiled, and her parents firmly supported her, so she didn't have a lot of troubles. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Meow Meow, your future husband is the one who will accompany you for the longest time, not us. Father Li looked at his daughter, your mother and I are both old, so you have to choose a good husband. A woman's marriage is like it is the second reincarnation. The ancients said that women are afraid of marrying the wrong man. Xiao Su, a practical martial arts man, after retiring, he spends most of the day practicing martial arts. From my perspective, it is still very good. Yet. Li Miao Miao nodded. After chatting for a long time, Li Miao Miao and his parents cut off the video call. The other side of the video call. Li's father and Li's mother are sitting in the living room. Wife, you have to take care of Miao Miao more in the future. Father Li said. Chenan, are you hiding your illness like this? Li mother's eyes flushed. Father Li shook his head and said, you know, I am terminally ill. Even if various medical methods are tortured, it will only cost 1 or 2 years of life. It is still miserable. Treat conservatively and live happily, and you can live for about a year. It's okay. I'm thinking about my daughter getting married happily now. Don't bother them at this time. When they get married, my condition is completely overwhelming. I will talk to them in the last month. Tell her now that it's useless, it will only increase her daughter's troubles. Father Li smiled and said, in this life, the less troublesome days, the better, and the more happy days the better. I just want my daughter. Have more happy days. You, always consider others in this life. Li Mu's eyes were red. Why don't I scold my elder brother today? He was dumbfounded by scolding him. I can't believe I dare to scold him like that. Father Li laughed, and the closer he was to death, the more he could see clearly. Life, that's all, it's the most important thing to live a happy life. Penghai City, inside a towering skyscraper. Cheng Zihao was lying on the gaming chair, wearing virtual glasses, when suddenly there was a knock on the office door. Come in. Cheng Zihao's virtual glasses mode switched to reality mode, looking at a middle-aged man who walked in through the door. After the middle-aged man came in, he closed the door first, and then said a little flatteringly, "Boss, the Binhai Sing Kong Daoguan decided to fire Su Jingming. I changed my account to contact Su Jingming, and Su Jingming blocked me again. It's really decisive." Cheng Zihao was fair-skinned and smiled. Li Miao Miao blocked me and Su Jingming blocked us. They are really interesting. This is the so-called love then Jinjian? Ha ha ha, it's really interesting. By the way, what about Li Yuanping? He is Li Miao Miao's uncle. Li Yuanping went to find Li Miao Miao's parents in person, but Li Miao Miao's parents obviously agreed with Su Jingming's son-in-law and drove Li Yuanping out. Said the middle-aged man. It's really useless. Cheng Zihao frowned slightly. This Li Miao Miao is really different from other singers, so I don't care about fame and fortune. She has changed the live broadcast platform. For the latest live broadcast, she was broadcast live on the micro world. The middle-aged man also said helplessly, and she has never signed a long-term contract with our platform, only live broadcast once a month, and never cared about it. Live streaming is very profitable. Boss, what shall we do next? Li Miao Miao and Su Jingming are both public figures and have such a tough attitude. Forget it, there are so many things I like in this world, and it is impossible to get all of them. Cheng Zihao shook his head. The matter of Li Miao Miao, that's the end for the time being. But continue to pay attention to her. People will change, I don't believe it. She has never cared about fame and fortune. Yes. The middle-aged man nodded and smiled. She may be young. She may not care about fame and wealth in her early 20s, but after a few years, after social beatings and realize the importance of fame and wealth, it may change. If I become snobbish in a few years, I may not be able to look at it. Cheng Zihao said calmly, go on. Yes. The middle-aged man left respectfully. Cheng Zihao's virtual glasses switched to immersion mode again. To him, Li Miao Miao was just a small splash of his life, and he didn't care about it at all. In the immersive mode, a huge stock market picture appeared. Cheng Zihao watched it. The capital market was what he really cared about. How did Tiger Shark's stock price fall by 8% today? Didn't find any bad news. Cheng Zihao couldn't understand that Tiger Shark Group, such a large cap stock, rarely experienced such a big drop. My dad ordered that in order to spread the risk, all my investments are forbidden to touch the Tiger Shark Group. Let dad bother it. Cheng Zihao didn't think any more. The biggest asset of the family is the 8.2% stock of Tiger Shark Group. Of course he cares. However, according to family rules, his personal property has nothing to do with the Tiger Shark Group. As for the stocks of Tiger Shark Group plummeted, his father Cheng Luwei has been in charge of the group for more than 30 years, and Cheng Zihao still believes in his father's abilities. Beijing, in a Chinese-style villa, except for a housekeeper robot, only one elderly person lives in the entire villa. This burly old man was at the dining table, eating a few cloves of garlic, gnawing beef, and eating a few bites of cooked vegetables. He is exactly the legendary figure in the world martial arts Sir Cleathy Fierce Tiger Lu Hai. At the age of 45, he participated in the first World Budo contest and competed with masters from all over the world. Be aware that only the top 32 in the world are eligible to participate. Most of the participants are around 30 years old, and Lu Hai is definitely an elderly player. He has made it 5 consecutive times, all of them are in the top 3, and he won the world first in the 5th. Served as the head coach of Xiaoguo's national team for 20 years. On the legend, Xiaoguo has only 2 martial arts masters who can match him in the past 30 years. In terms of seniority, he is the oldest, Xiaoguo's top professional martial arts player, most of them have to call him a master. He is over 70 years old this year, and Lu Hai still spends half a year in retreat each year, living alone and practicing penance. Is like eating, he eats 5 meals a day, mainly beef, supplemented by side dishes such as vegetables. No way, with his training intensity, he couldn't hold on to eat less. Hey! Lu Hai had a pair of tiger eyes, exuding domineering. Domineering is so mysterious, it is a powerful biomagnetism brought by a powerful physique. Lu Hai, who is 1.92 meters tall and weighs 110 kilograms, was able to reach the top 3 in the first 5 world martial arts competitions with the most imperfect rules, and has never been injured, showing that his body and skills have reached an astonishing level. What's this stuff? Lu Hai stared at the information that appeared on the light curtain in front of him. This turtle son, have you bullied my apprentice? Fang Xinglong! Lu Hai shouted. An image of Fang Xinglong appeared in the light curtain, and Fang Xinglong respectfully said, Master, I thought about it all night yesterday, but I couldn't think of any other way, so I told Master this. My brother joined the provincial team in high school, and he has been like an ascetic monk for so many years. One mind is in martial arts. Who wants Cheng Zihao to come to bully him? Junior brother refused to say more in front of me, I asked. It seems to be related to junior brother's girlfriend. Love and love are really annoying. How many young people ruin their future because of love? Lu Hai shook his head. Like him in his 70s, he still retreats for half a year every year, without seeing anyone. Love the secular, it will only affect the speed of his moves. Juniors matter, Master, do you have a way? Fang Xinglong asked. He knew that his master's network was very large. People are a large commercial group, what can I do? I will think about it first, so don't worry about it. Lu Hai said. Yes, Master, I listen to you. Fang Xinglong replied. The light curtain closes. Lu Hai sat there, thinking about it while gnawing on the cooked beef, only feeling that the beef in his mouth was tasteless. Jingming is still too weak in physique. If he trains for 3 more years and then enters the World Martial Arts competition, he will not break his leg and ruin his future. Lu Hai sighed secretly, his talent for marksmanship is too high, ranking in the world. He was promoted too fast, and he entered the World Budo contest prematurely, which actually harmed him. At the age of 20, he has been in the highest level of the World Budo contest, which is still too young. With his talent, if he is 23 or 4 years old and enters the World Budo contest, he is expected to be number 1 in the world. If he is number 1 in the world, he will be forced to be like this. Lu Hai thought, it's just a taker, and it's not easy to help the apprentice. Old Guo! Lu Hai called out. The light curtain condensed in front of him, and a figure appeared in the light curtain, a grey-haired old man sitting at the desk. Brother Hai, what's going on? The grey-haired old man is also a high-ranking person, but facing Lu Hai, who is 3 years younger than him, he still respects him and calls him Brother Hai. The two sides have been in friendship for decades. Lao Guo, that national key cultivation list. Lu Hai put down the beef in his hand. Don't I have a recommendation place? I thought about it, I am going to recommend Su Jingming. Su Jingming. The grey-haired old man thought about it, and said, you are eligible for recommendation, but you still have to go through the audit. This time there are only 20 people in the list. You martial arts masters account for 12. Others fighting genres also accounted for 5 places. Only the last 3 places are left. Su Jingming wants to compete for these 3 places. To be honest, his qualifications are lower. Jingming, he is only 29 years old this year, and he has great potential. Moreover, with a serious leg injury, he can reach the quarterfinals of the World Martial Arts Competition. If there is no leg injury, he can be the number 1 in the world. Lu Hai said. We all know what you said, but I must tell you that his hope of competing for 3 places is relatively low. Are you sure you want to recommend him? The grey-haired old man asked. The apprentices I have been most optimistic about these years, most of them have won the top 3 in the world and won the title of martial arts master. Only Jingming and Xiao Tong are a bit pity. Xiao Tong has given up martial arts long ago. Jingming has never given up in these years. For many years like a day, this character is more worthy of cultivation. In this way, Brother Hai, you should write a detailed recommendation letter as soon as possible. It is best to send it to me today, so I can send it to the selection committee members above. The grey-haired old man said, as for whether it is successful or not. Still have to go through the final review above. Okay. Lu Hai nodded. When the light curtain dissipated, Lu Hai continued to eat beef, thinking, in all previous World Budo contests, Xiaoguo has won the top 3 in the world, a total of 12. Of these 12, the oldest is me, and there is another one. People with disabilities, several people with out of shape, even one with cancer. But these 12 are all included in the list of cultivation. Disability, cancer, and old age can all be cultivated. It said it was a great thing, but the details are not revealed. I don't know what a great thing is. Lu Hai thought, if Jingming can also be a member of the list, it would be an opportunity. Lu Hai's concept is very simple, the apprentice is in trouble. The apprentice becomes stronger, the trouble is gone, and even becomes trouble for the other party. Su Jingming didn't know that Master Lu Hai recommended his name to him. He has now taken over the job of his fighting gym. Once the Jiangnan provincial team training is over, he can return to his hometown of Minjiahu City. In the afternoon, Su Jingming was training in the exclusive room of the fighting hall, holding a solid steel bar with a diameter of 4 cm and a length of 3 meters in both hands. Half arc, right half arc. The trajectory drawn by the head of the club in an instant is only a part of the circle. This steel rod is a solid round stainless steel rod commonly used in industry, weighing 64 kgs. It's not suitable for fighting, but it's suitable for training strength, training the whole body's strength. Did it die? Suddenly the voice sounded. Su Jingming put down the steel rod, picked up the towel and wiped off the sweat, glanced at the name displayed on the screen, and said, Xiao Bai, answer the video call. The light curtain image condenses in midair, and the image shows a young man. Aishuo. Su Jingming smiled happily, it's rare for you to take the initiative to call me. The young man in front of him, named Yang Qingshuo, is Su Jingming's best brother. They both went to the same university, and they were both martial arts teams. The teammates were arranged in the same dormitory back then. He and Yang Qingshuo were still on the upper and lower bunks. In his freshman year, Su Jingming won the first place in the National College Student Budo League, and Yang Qingshuo was 7th. Su Jingming entered the national team as a freshman, Yang Qingshuo was selected as a sophomore in the national team. The brothers on the upper and lower bunks joined the national team together, and stayed together for several years in the national team. They practiced together every day and lived in the same dormitory. Brotherhood can be imagined. They are not real brothers, but better than real brothers. You can't make a phone call if you have nothing to do. Yang Qingshuo smiled, a little shy. Yang Qingshuo has a very restrained and shy personality, and people who are familiar with him know it very well. Ashuo, why do you seem to be a lot fatter? Su Jingming said in surprise. Yang Qingshuo used to be very delicate and thin. Now he was a bit fatter, feeling a little blessed, and his eyes were not sharp anymore. My child is going to elementary school this year, so it's normal for me to get good luck. Yang Qingshuo said. Yes, your kids can make soy sauce. I haven't gotten married yet. You said you just get the certificate when you reach the legal marriage age, so embarrassing a group of old brothers. Su Jingming joked, who would have thought of the national team back then in the first team, Yang Qingshuo, the youngest and shyest, gets married first. Yang Qingshuo smiled and said nothing. Call me today, what's the matter? Su Jingming asked with a smile. After many good brothers in college and national team separated, they were scattered all over the country. It is normal to contact once every year or two. There is something. Yang Qingshuo hesitated and said, Brother Su, I have encountered something and need to borrow some money. Borrow money? Su Jingming's heart was prickly. He doesn't care about money. But I was worried about Ashuo, who was also the main player of the national team in the past. After he retired, he was in the Hebei Provincial Sports Bureau. The income was also very good. How could he be forced to borrow money? Did something happen? Su Jingming asked. My mother was hospitalized, and the special medicines outside of medical insurance cost more. Yang Qingshuo said. How much do you need? Su Jingming asked. 1 million. Yang Qingshuo said, it may take a year to pay you back. Su Jingming nodded, okay, I will transfer you right now. However, he thought about it in his heart. Ashuo was also the main player of the national team at the beginning, and he also entered a world martial arts competition. Although he was eliminated in the group stage, the prize money of the competition was only the most basic 1 million. The game appearance fee is not high, but I have struggled for several years and saved millions. Now I am borrowing money from myself, I am afraid that I will encounter big difficulties. Su Jingming borrowed money from abroad, and after borrowing, he was ready for the other party not to repay it. He wouldn't be so generous if his average friend borrowed money, but Yang Qingshuo is his best brother since childhood. While talking on the phone, Su Jingming operated on the light screen and clicked on his own financial platform. The stocks, insurance, and deposits in the platform were all listed clearly, and the transfer was quickly completed. Is it the account? Su Jingming asked. I received it. Yang Qingshuo was also a little excited after receiving the money. Money is a person's courage, and it is indeed difficult to suffer from extreme lack of money. Su brother, thanks. Ashuo, I am going to the capital today on business trip. I will pass by your Jinmen and talk to you. Su Jingming said, give me your address and I will find you. Today? Yang Qingshuo was surprised, when will you arrive? It is estimated that around 5 o'clock. Su Jingming said after calculating the time. Then I'm still at work, let me give you the address of the company. Yang Qingshuo gave an address. Su Jingming looked at the Jiaxin Fitness Club, a little surprised and said, are you leaving the Hebei Sports Bureau? Well, it's coming out. Yang Qingshuo nodded, Brother Su, I'm going to class, and I'll meet and talk later. Okay, then meet our brothers and have a good chat. Su Jingming said, with a light stroke of his hand, the light curtain in front of him turned into dots of light. Su Jingming lost his smile, and stood there silently, Ashuo doesn't look right. This time he left the sports bureau and went to a fitness club, which is not a well-known fighting gym. He used to be the main player of the national team. A fitness club. They are all professional martial arts players. How much can they play when they go to the fitness club to learn? Go to Jinmen, meet and have a look. Su Jingming immediately bought a high-speed rail ticket. The high-speed rail speed is 600 km per hour, 2 hours to Jinmen. It is false to say that any business trip to the capital is false. Su Jingming is not relieved, a good brother, so I have to go to Tianjin specifically to see Yang Qingshuo. Internet car hailing, smart dispatch, and arrive at the high-speed rail station in 15 minutes. Soon, Su Jingming took the high-speed rail and went straight to the northern city of Tianjin. At 4:53 p.m., Su Jingming had already arrived outside the gate of Jiaxin Fitness Club in Jinmen City. Arrive. Su Jingming looked up at this fitness club, which occupies a relatively large area. After walking in, the female service staff at the front desk smiled and asked, "Welcome. My surname is Su, I'm looking for Yang Qingshuo." Su Jingming said, "I have an appointment with him." "You're looking for Coach Yang? Please sit here for a while." The female service staff at the front desk was very enthusiastic and took Su Jingming to the reception area to sit down and poured a glass of boiled water. At this moment, on the third floor of this Jiaxin Fitness Club, Yang Qingshuo is giving a group of female members a fitness class. After finishing a set of boxing exercises, the female members were also out of breath. "Okay, rest for 2 minutes." Yang Qingshuo said. "Coach Yang, I heard that you have participated in the World Budo Contest." A female member asked curiously. They reported to the class because they saw Yang Qingshuo participated in the World Budo Contest. Budo events, I heard that they are divided into Clevel, Blevel, Alavel events and the highest World Budo Contest. Only those with the top 32 points in the World Budo Contest are eligible to participate in the World Budo Contest. Every year, only the 32 strongest martial arts players in the world can participate. Coach Yang, have you participated? All female members are very curious. I participated in the 26th World Budo Contest. Yang Qingshuo nodded and smiled. This is also his hardest resume of job hunting today. Wow! Coach Yang, can you teach us self-defense? Yes, Coach Yang, we weak women have too weak ability to resist in the face of unruly men. Do you have the kind of self-defense tricks that can easily practice and deal with those strong men? These female members we all talked. Easy to practice? What are the tricks for weak women to deal with strong men? Yang Qingshuo thought for a while, smiled and said, "Okay, then I will teach you a more practical trick." The female members immediately listened carefully. "Follow what I said first, put one leg away and stand on one leg." Yang Qingshuo said. All the female members stand on one leg, which is still very relaxing, but occasionally falls on the other foot unsteadily. Jump on one leg. Yang Qingshuo said, first demonstrating a light jump on one leg. The female members wore soft-soled fitness shoes and jumped easily on one foot. Is it very simple? Yang Qingshuo asked. I jump 1,000 ropes every day, and one leg jump is of course easy. The female members are very relaxed, including the obese female members. Who knows how to jump a few times? Your weight is generally around 100 kgs. Yang Qingshuo said. I'm more than 100 kgs. A fat elder sister laughed. That is to say, everyone can easily bear more than 100 kgs with one leg, and they can also jump up. Yang Qingshuo said, jumping on the ground with one leg can easily reach 200 kgs in an instant. These female members nodded. Now lift your leg and kick it out. Yang Qingshuo said, on a leg jump is kicking down the ground. Lifting the leg is kicking straight forward. It is the same muscle force as kicking the ground. Yang Qingshuo taught. Use the same force as kicking on the ground. The female members raised their legs and kicked out the sandbags in front of them. With a bang, the sandbags shook. All female members were surprised. I hit this sandbag before, my fist hurts and my wrist hurts. Kicking the sandbag hurts my feet, and the sandbag does not move. Did I kick this time? Pushing on sandbags like kicking on the ground. So powerful. For the first time, the female members found that kicking sandbags was easy and powerful. This is called positive kicking. Don't do too much every day. Practice 20 times. After a month, the force is smooth. Even for women, it is easy for a foot to weigh 200 or 300 catties. Yang Qingshuo said, but this is not what I want to teach. Look at it clearly, when you lift your leg to kick out, don't use the entire sole of your foot, but use the forefoot, close to the toes. Yang Qingshuo kicked out casually, the forefoot like a steel rod poking on the sandbag, and the sandbag banged with a low sound. Usually wear sports shoes or high heels. You can use your toes with at least 200 or 300 kilograms of force, and you can transmit it with your toes, and the penetrating power can be much stronger. Yang Qingshuo said. I understand that with the same pressure, the contact surface is smaller, and the pressure is of course higher. A female member said, compared with the soles of the feet, the pressure may be 10 times greater than that of the toes. Yes, the pressure is much stronger. Yang Qingshuo laughed, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. This trick has the secret of traditional martial arts poking feet, although your feet are not as hard as professional players. But usually everyone wears shoes, and the soles are comparable. Professional players are still hard. At least 200 or 300 kilograms of force, one toe out, used to poke people, is to poke the opponent's thigh, the other party will feel terrible pain. If you kick under a man. A female member's eyes shined. Yang Qingshuo continued, only in the face of real danger, self-defense can do this. This is not an ordinary kick. Even if it is not kicked at the vital point, it is just kicked in the abdomen of the opponent, and normal men can't hold it. This is actually a simplified version poke the foot. Human legs walk every day. Ordinary people can walk for a few hours, but no one in the world walks for a few hours with hands upside down. Yang Qingshuo said, the strength of human legs is inherently stronger than the strength of arms. Many, even for women, the strength of their legs can catch up with the strength of the Hercules arms. Can catch up with the strength of the Hercules arm? Those Hercules, the arms are thicker than my thighs. A female member said. You can stand on one leg for a few minutes. You can even jump. Yang Qingshuo said, let those strong men lift more than 100 catties with one hand for a few minutes, how many can do it? Don't underestimate your leg strength. Hercules has thick arms, but in terms of muscle efficiency, it can't keep up with your women's thigh muscles. Yang Qingshuo said confidently. He is a professional martial arts player and he knows the potential of leg muscle strength. Humans are upright animals, and their legs are inherently stronger than arms. Women, with their legs, can easily deal with men who don't know how to fight. Coach Yang, there is a guest surnamed Su, someone from the fitness club called. Yang Qingshuo immediately understood that Su Jingming had arrived. In the reception area, Su Jingming was sitting there, drinking boiled water, and watching this fitness club. Judging from the decoration and the area, it was not bad. Brother Su. A familiar voice. Su Jingming looked up and saw Yang Qingshuo walking along with a smile. It is said that Su Jingming is young and has become the main player of the national team early. In fact, Yang Qingshuo is 1 year younger and was the youngest brother of the national team. The once handsome boy is now blessed, and even has a little grey hair, and his eyes are a little tired. Ashuo. Su Jingming got up. Go, let's sit inside. Yang Qingshuo took Su Jingming into a small reception hall next to it with a partition. Yang Qingshuo brought some snacks and fruit plates from the side and poured 2 glasses of water. Brother Su, thanks to your help this time. Yang Qingshuo sat down and said. Su Jingming noticed that Yang Qingshuo's right hand was always wearing gloves, and asked doubtfully, what's wrong with your hand? This summer, his right hand has been wearing gloves. Yang Qingshuo's expression solidified, then he didn't care and smiled. He took off the glove of his right hand. It was a prosthetic limb. Although it had a bionic skin like a real right hand, it could be distinguished by a little observation. Your hand. Su Jingming couldn't believe it. Prosthesis. Yang Qingshuo smiled and put on his gloves. It happened last year. A tall building with a decorated iron frame fell off at high altitude, and a little doll was downstairs. You know, I am a professional martial arts player. It was specially trained. I immediately rushed over and grabbed the little baby and rescued him. I blocked it with my right hand and was smashed by an iron frame. I had to amputate my limbs. How could this be? Su Jingming was a little confused. I have a big fortune teller. It was not this hand that almost smashed my head. Yang Qingshuo shook his head and said, the iron frame was smashed from a height of tens of meters. Now it's just a hand. It's worth replacing the baby doll to survive. And now the prosthetic technique is quite good. You can pour water on the plate, and you can do some simple tasks like a prosthesis. Su Jingming nodded slightly, so you left the sports bureau. This is just doing what is right. Yang Qingshuo said, the sports bureau has also given rewards and learned from me. It's just that I don't have a right hand and I am not suitable for being a professional coach anymore, so I was transferred to the office to do some administrative work. Administrative work. His salary was a little lower, 10,000 yuan a month, and I was also ranked 19th in the world's martial arts ranking. It was not difficult to find a job with a monthly salary of tens of thousands, so I came out. Su Jingming is clear. Sports bureau work, most of the wages are not high. The only way to hire professional coaches is very high. Like Master Lu Hai, the head coach of the national team has an annual salary of tens of millions. As a professional coach in the provincial team, the monthly salary is generally from 50,000. But the administrative work is just an ordinary member of the sports bureau, and the salary is not comparable to that of a professional coach. Oshuo, if you need my help, just say it. Su Jingming said. You can lend me money this time, it's already a great help. Yang Qingshuo smiled, I want to see brother Su you get married sooner. How old you are? You are 30 this year. 29 years old. Su Jingming said quickly. Our hometown is based on the virtual age. Yang Qingshuo said. Su Jingming blinked his eyes, don't worry about getting married. I will get married in a few months. Happy event, who is it? Yang Qingshuo asked. Li Miao Miao. Su Jingming said, don't tell the story, you will definitely get it when the wedding is a few months later. Li Miao Miao, is that Li Miao Miao who sings very well? Or the same name? Yang Qingshuo asked. Is her. Su Jingming nodded, Miao Miao and I don't understand many things about getting married and having a baby. You are someone who came here. Let your Xiao and Miao Miao talk more. Yang Qingshuo was a little embarrassed, bowed his head and took a sip of water. I divorced Xiao. Divorced? Su Jingming was taken aback. Well, what happened in the first half of the year? Yang Qingshuo nodded. Su Jingming understood something in his heart. Last year, A Shuo became disabled, a professional martial artist, still using a spear. Disabled right hand? I can't use the long gun anymore, I can't be a professional coach at all, and my future income will be greatly reduced in the future. This may be a reason for divorce. The divorce rate is high now. Su Jingming said. On our side, the divorce rate is as high as 50%. Yang Qingshuo shook his head, it's okay to be alone, with less trouble. Su Jingming nodded. He could feel that there was a lot of bitterness in A Shuo's heart. By the way, I will leave Binhai in the near future, and I will return to my hometown to settle down later. Su Jingming chatted with his good brother, chatting about life and some gossip in the circle. Just half an hour passed. When chatting, Yang Qingshuo was also very relaxed, as if back to the university, back to the days of training in the national team. At that time, he was carefree and only focused on martial arts. Brother Su, I should go back. Yang Qingshuo checked his watch and said, I have to cook for my son when I go back. You hurry up and do your job. Su Jingming also got up. It's rare for you to come here. You should have dinner with you, but... Yang Qingshuo was a little embarrassed. Haha, I also want to go to the capital, you hurry up to take care of your son. Su Jingming said. Su Jingming faintly understood that Ashuo had lost his father a long time ago, and his mother is now seriously ill in the hospital. Now she is taking the child by herself, it must have been a lot of hard work. I'm leaving now. Su Jingming got on the smart car with online appointment at the door of Jiaxin Fitness Club. Yang Qingshuo was carrying a backpack and watched Su Jingming leave, then put on his helmet and rode an electric car to rush home. Although driverless smart cars are very popular nowadays, you can buy a car without a driver's license, but Yang Qingshuo has already sold his car. After half an hour, Yang Qingshuo returned home after buying some vegetables from the market. This is a large flat with a size of 200 square meters. It is also very good in Jinmen City. It cost 5 million to buy a house that year. Dad. A boy lying on the sofa wearing virtual glasses excitedly took off his glasses, ran over and hugged his father. Tao Tao, are you having fun in the game? Yang Qingshuo smiled. Summer vacation can have a great time. The boy said happily, and I also played math and Chinese games in the morning. I have reached level 55 for the addition and subtraction of mathematics, and the Chinese pinyin game has also passed level 22. Up. Really good. Yang Qingshuo kissed his son. The boy hugs his father intimately and enjoys spending time with his father. I'll make dinner for you. Yang Qingshuo said. Okay. The boy sat back obediently and put on virtual glasses again. There was a robot beside the sofa. The robot was the boy's only companion at home. I can only afford the cheapest first-level intelligent robot. I don't usually have time to accompany my son, so I can only let the robot accompany me. Yang Qingshuo in the kitchen looked at his son in the game, and felt quite self-blame. The first-level intelligent robot can only clean, help see, and chat with his son. Others are gone, like cooking, which is too complicated to be completed by first-level intelligent robots. All I can do is to maintain my son's life as much as possible. Yang Qingshuo looked at the house. Divorced his wife, the family property is evenly divided. Yang Qingshuo seems to still live in this house, but he needs to give his wife 3.9 million cash. All the cash in the family, including the real estate, have pledged 2 million in cash, all to the wife. What made the situation worse was that the mother was seriously ill. The mother was unable to help with the child, and the cost of treatment for the serious illness was high. He had already mortgaged the real estate to the maximum amount and even sold the car. He is now in debt, but he must hold on. Did it die? Yang Qingshuo pressed his watch, and a light curtain appeared. She was a haggard-looking, fat woman in her 50s and 60s. She was Yang Qingshuo's mother. Xiaoshuo. Mother Yang's breath was also a little weak. I checked a lot of information on the internet. I found that this is a genetic defect disease, a rare disease. The special medicine is only a delay and there is no cure at all, so don't worry. I'll go home and spend time with my grandson. Days will be happier and you will also be relaxed. Mom, don't worry, I signed a long contract with the company, and I am rich. Yang Qingshuo said, you can take care of it without worrying about everything else. I will see you at around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Xiaoshuo. Mother Yang really loves her son. In just over a year, she was disabled, lost a good job, divorced, and was in debt. Now she is a mother who is taking care of her child alone. Mother Yang wants to seek death, but she knows her son's character very well. If she seeks death, I am afraid that my son will suffer for a lifetime. Mom, I continue to cook, Tao Tao is still waiting to eat. Yang Qingshuo said. Good. Mother Yang also hung up the phone. Yang Qingshuo closed the lid, and the stove flame rose, he watched silently. How did my life live like this? Yang Qingshuo thought. He was also the emperor. If you listen to Brother Su, listen to the coach, focused on martial arts, don't fall in love and get married early. I will definitely go farther in the World Martial Arts Championships, and my income will be much higher. I will not be so embarrassed now. Yang Qingshuo recalled the past. He was in love since his freshman year. It was his first love. After entering the national team, he was in contact with his ex-wife through the virtual network. At the age of 22, he just reached the legal marriage age, and he got married. Baby. Although he is also very dedicated to martial arts, he must admit that falling in love, getting married, and having children distracted him from a lot of energy and made his achievements a bit low. We must know that he is 1 year younger than Su Jingming, and according to the same age period, he is completely comparable to Su Jingming. I'm not as focused as Brother Su. I didn't get fatal injuries during my time in the national team. Brother Su has broken his leg and will be able to get up again a few years later and rush into the quarterfinals of the World Budo contest. Marksmanship. It has also been recognized by the entire World Martial Arts Circle, and is recognized as the top 10 in historical marksmanship, and won the name of the spearman. I am also a gunner. Yang Qingshuo said silently, I am content with the status quo, and I want to spend more time with my wife and son. Did not pay like Brother Su at all. Time won't come again. Regret is useless. Go forward step by step. Yang Qingshuo lowered his head and touched his watch. A light curtain popped up. Yang Qingshuo clicked on and started paying, water, electricity, gas, virtual internet fee, son's milk money, monthly loan to be repaid. There is no hope for career, heavy debt, old age at the top, and small at the bottom, everything can only be done by himself. He is the pillar of this family. Yang Qingshuo looked up and saw the thin body of his son Yang Tao sitting on the sofa in the living room wearing virtual glasses. Tao, Dad can't give you much, but even if you lose this life, I will make you happy. Great, able to support themselves in this society. The meaty aroma of the stew pot gradually passed to the living room. Dad, it smells so good. Son Yang Tao sniffed and shouted joyfully. I have cooked the ribs you like, and it will be ready later. Yang Qingshuo said with a smile. Su Jingming sat on the high-speed rail back to Binhai City and looked out the window. How could this be? Su Jingming understood Ashuo's current situation, heartache and powerless, disability, the career is ruined, the family still depends on him. All I can do is to help, but in life, I still have to fight it by myself. Su Jingming said silently, Ashuo, come on. Life, sometimes you can't resist, you can only endure it silently. A few days later, the Jiangnan province training team returned, and Su Jingming also left the Star Space Fighting Hall, preparing to return to his hometown. In the afternoon, Binhai City High-Speed Railway North Station. A person in Binhai City, take care of yourself. Su Jingming and Li Miao Miao hug each other. Li Miao Miao wears a mask and is followed by a female assistant. Although Su Jingming has entered the World Budo contest twice, once in the top 16 and once in the quarterfinals, after all, there are very few public appearances, and few people can recognize him when walking on the street. But Li Miao Miao is different. She is very popular. Even if the Buddhist family only broadcasts once a month, she still has tens of millions of fans. She does not wear a mask, and she is afraid that she will be recognized quickly. I guess there are still 2 or 3 days, so I can arrange everything, then I can go back. Sister Kong has already gone to Minjai City in advance, and their houses have been rented. Li Miao Miao said. Sister Kong is Li Miao Miao. One of his 2 assistants. Xiaozeng, you must take good care of your boss these days. Su Jingming said to the thin female assistant Xiaozeng. Yes. Xiaozeng immediately raised his chest and responded. Su Jingming smiled and nodded, and hugged his girlfriend again. Send me a message when you get home. Li Miao Miao asked. Okay, I'm leaving. Su Jingming turned around, carrying a backpack, passed the checkpoint, and went to take the high-speed rail. Li Miao Miao took the female assistant and watched Su Jingming's back disappear into the passage before leaving. On the high-speed rail, Su Jingming sat in a position with a 3-foot large light curtain suspended in front of him. The light curtain can only be seen clearly from the angle of Su Jingming, the brightness of other angles is not enough, and it will be deformed. Dear friends, brothers and sisters, from now on, I will settle in Minjiahu City. Welcome everyone to visit Minjiahu City, I will definitely entertain you all the way. Su Jingming posted a message in the social circle, and one reply soon. Brother, have a good journey. This message is Brother Fang Xinglong, the owner of the Star Space Fighting Hall. Old Su, have you left Binhai? This is the original national teammate, a good brother Hung Fang. Brother, you are finally back to Minjiahu City, my brothers have long been eager to see through. This is Zhu Tong, a junior from the Beiji Gate of Minjiahu City. I'm back, but you can come and see me earlier. This is Dai Tongda, the protagonist of Jia Jiaomen in Minjiahu City, and one of Su Jingming's 2 masters when he was young. When he was a teenager, Su Jingming's enlightenment master was his father, and then under the guidance of his father, he worshipped Dai Tongda as his teacher. I heard that Yueshi is a very beautiful city, and I must go to travel if I have the opportunity. This is the world-class martial arts master Hunter Mixi from abroad. Mixi studied in Xia State and is proficient in Chinese. The big masters are going back home. They must have dinner. Many old classmates want to see you. It is Wu Wei, a high school classmate. Over time, one message after another appeared. There are old classmates, relatives, teammates in the provincial and national teams, some unfamiliar masters in the World Martial Arts Circle, and some martial arts circle agents, coaches, and apprentices who have taught themselves. Su Jingming looked at these messages, smiled, and responded to his friends one by one. Beijing, inside a Chinese villa. Lu Hai, who was eating the 3rd meal of the day, is also looking at the social circle on the light curtain. When he retreats every year, he usually looks at the social circle when he eats to learn about the outside world. Jingming left Binhai and returned to Minjiahu City. Lu Hai knew it was forced by Cheng Ziai from the Tiger Shark Group. National Key Cultivation List. Lu Hai tapped the screen lightly, looked at the candidates on the list, and shook his head helplessly. I found several old friends, and my mouth was broken, but Jingming was still brushed off. There are a total of 20 people on the list, 12 martial arts masters, and 5 other fighting genres. Only 3 places can compete. Finally, these 3 places are won by 2 professional martial arts players and 1 professional Sanda player. Professional Sanda player is a Grand Slam player. 2 professional martial arts players, one is 4th in the World Budo contest. The other is the top 8 in the world 3 times, both are better than Jingming. This time the list is too special, Lu Hai only has the right to recommend, he has tried his best. The scenery passing by the window. Su Jingming raised his head and looked out the window. After only chatting for a while in the social circle, he entered the boundary of Minjiahu City. From Binhai City to Minjiahu City, the high-speed rail only takes 35 minutes. Go home. Su Jingming was in a good mood. At a glance, beside the river channel outside the high-speed rail window, there were countless weeping willows. The scenery of the Jiangnan water village is refreshing. Although in terms of economy, Minjiahu City cannot be compared with the economic center city of Xia State, Binhai City, in terms of livability, Minjiahu City is much stronger. The whole city is like a city built in a park. The pace of the city is slow, and many elderly people across the country move here to provide for their retirement. Minjiahu City, I'm back. After leaving the high-speed rail station and taking a driverless smart car, Su Jingming went straight to his parents' residence. It was a villa area with a bit of history. Before he was 18 years old, he almost lived here. In the villa complex. When Su Jingming walked in the laneway, the stone bricks on the ground showed signs of time. Some were old stone bricks, and some were probably damaged. They were replaced by new ones by the property. A vague graffiti trace on the wall reflected Su Jingming couldn't help reaching out and touching his eyes. This graffiti was painted on the wall of my neighbor's Li Diniu's house when I was 5 years old. After so much, there are still faint traces left. Walking down this lane, I think of the scene when I was a kid carrying my school bag to school, and my dad took me to school. At that time, the robot was not that smart yet. Mom was in charge of cooking and Dad was in charge of picking up. 20 years have passed in a blink of an eye. Su Jingming walked to the door of the familiar courtyard and pushed it slightly. The door was unlocked and opened ahead of time. Su Jingming walked to the front yard. The front yard was a small courtyard of more than 30 square meters. Su Jingming spent a long time practicing martial arts here when he was a child. Dad, Mom! Su Jingming shouted. Jingming is back! Jingming is back! There was a sound from inside the house. Su Jingming opened the door of the living room and saw that his parents had already got up. Su's mother was wearing pajamas and slippers, and Su's father was wearing short-sleeved pants. After all, in summer, home is also very casual. Jingming! Mother Su happily hugged her son when she saw her son. I want to kill your mother, how about meow meow? Are you alone? Meow meow will be back in 2 days. Su Jingming said with a smile. Father Su came out, looked at Su Jingming, and asked, where are your weapons? They are all delivered by express delivery, because there are so many things, all of which are large and heavy, so they will not arrive until tomorrow, and they will be delivered to the new house. Su Jingming said. Su's father nodded now. Su's father, named Su Hong, is about the same height as Su Jingming, and he is much more burly. Pile work is like hitting a tree stump with your arms, chest, shoulders, back, elbow, etc. This is also called pile work. There is also a single-arm inverted pile for the main training arm. It is difficult to stand on a single arm. To simplify it, you can use handstand, and then simplify it to push-up pile work. There are also sea fishing exercises for exercising both legs. The various kung fu of the Beiji Gate is to make every part of one's body strong and fierce as a tiger. Su's father is just like a hunk, standing there with a domineering aura. Dad, you are going to lose weight. Su Jingming said, you are over 200 catties now. 210 catties. Su's father shook his head, no way. I am old. I often get back injuries and I have to relax in my daily exercises. I practice for 2 hours a day. If not, my weight has risen. In the past, I have always kept it at 190 catties. If you have less time to practice, let you eat less, or eat and eat, can you not get fat? Su Mu's figure is enough to make many young girls envy, but the wrinkles on the face and the white hair on the head are exposed. Su's mother's age. Su's mother was a painter. When she was young, she walked around the world with Su's father, and later settled in Minjiahu City together. I'm used to eating, I can't help it. Su's father smiled. You were too aggressive when you were young. I went to visit those fighting genres around the world, and often had to learn from each other. Su's mother shook her head, I was injured, and I could bear it when I was young, but I felt it when I was old. Well, it hurts here and there every 3 times. Jingming, you have to take a warning. In the future, you should focus on health preservation and avoid actual combat. Yes, fighting with martial arts weapons is very dangerous. Su's father also nodded. When his son was 20 years old, his opponent broke his leg in the World Martial Arts competition. The couple was panicked when they saw it off the court. Don't worry, Mom and Dad, I have all settled in Minjiahu City, who should I fight for? Su Jingming smiled. Jingming is back. There was a voice from upstairs. Grandpa. Su Jingming was very happy. Your grandfather knew that you were coming back today, so he came here early in the morning. He was sleepy in the afternoon and slept on it for a nap. Mother Su said, I guess I heard the voice of our chat. Su Jingming put down his backpack and walked to the courtyard of the villa. He saw the white-haired old man walking down, his footwork was fairly steady. Grandpa. Su Jingming even walked to the stairs. It's okay to come back, isn't Minjai City more beautiful and comfortable than Binhai City? The white-haired old man narrowed his eyes with a smile. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com saw his grandson, of course he was very happy. I won't leave this time when I come back, and I will accompany Grandpa a lot. Su Jingming also felt very sorry for Grandpa. Grandpa, named Su Gishun, came out of a rural family and became a professional sports player when he was young. The nickname of the game is Anonymous Master. At that time, it was still a mobile game. Grandpa once took FMVP once, and his career income was quite high. Later, after retiring as a game anchor, he also saved a lot of money over the years, and the Su family was able to save a lot of money. It's just that Grandpa is already 88 years old, and his health is getting worse. Come on, eat fruit. Father and Mother, holding 2 large fruit plates, grapes, bananas, and watermelon, are all ready. Eat fruit. Father Su was in a very good mood. He sat down and took a slice of watermelon and handed it to Su Jingming. Try the watermelons from my hometown. These are local melons. Grandpa, I'll do it myself. Su Jingming also sat down and picked up the watermelon. I still remember that when I was young, my grandfather used to play with himself. When my mother was very young and my father was in his prime of life, he often took a group of apprentices to practice martial arts. Now, Grandpa is old, full of wrinkles, and age spots on his face. My mother also has a lot of grey hair, and her wrinkles are hard to hide. Although my father is burly and sturdy, but after all, he is 60, and he also has a twilight spirit. No one can stop birth, old age, sickness, and death. Su Jingming thought, I grow up, but my parents are old, and my grandfather is a year or less. When I got home, I felt the warmth of the family, but Su Jingming felt the ruthlessness of time even more. These fruits are the freshest fruits your dad bought this morning, Su Mu said. It's delicious. Su Jingming ate and smiled happily. It has been a few days since I returned to Minjai City. Li Miao Miao also returned from Binhai, and moved all her daily necessities to her new house. The new house is a single-family villa on the outskirts of Minjai City. Although the location is not as good as the old house of parents, the area is much larger. The basement of villa is 200 square meters, and Su Jingming transformed it into a professional practice room. The courtyard of the villa is also 800 square meters, and part of the area has also been built as an open-air martial arts training ground. For example, there is a large wooden stake inserted in the yard. The large wooden stake is 40 centimeters thick and 3 meters long. It is inserted 1 meter below the ground and 2 meters above the ground. Su Jingming was wearing a tank top and shorts, bare feet. One step forward was to slap both palms on the big wooden stake. When stepped up, the speed exploded extremely strong, causing the speed of the whole body to rise immediately, just like a violent tiger, and then his palms slammed on the big wooden stake. Boom! 40 centimeters thick wooden stakes tremble violently by the impact. Took a step back with Su Jingming, and stepped up again, already violent at one step, and slapped his palms on the stake again. After slapped 10 times, Su Jingming changed his tactics again, shoulder bump, back bump, elbow bump. Every time it hits, the stake trembles violently. Jingming, let's go to my parents for dinner tonight. Li Miao Miao wore virtual glasses, walked to the door of the living room, leaned against the door, and looked at Su Jingming who was practicing in the courtyard. Okay. Su Jingming said, but when are you going to move here? Why, it's hard to be alone at night. Li Miao Miao glanced at Su Jingming with a smile, jokingly. A person is quite deserted. Su Jingming stopped practicing boxing and looked at Li Miao Miao. Look at how pitiful you are. Li Miao Miao smiled and said, I just returned to Minjai city for a few days, so stay with my parents. Li Miao Miao said, letting her stay with her parents 24 hours a day. There are headaches around me, and young people also need space. During the day, she stayed in the new house, and at night she went to sleep with her parents and chatted with her mother. After a few days, my parents will dislike me. Li Miao Miao said, I will come over when the time comes. Okay. Su Jingming nodded, by the way, I will accompany my grandpa to the hospital tomorrow. I guess I won't be here during the day. Then I won't come here tomorrow. Li Miao Miao walked back to the living room and was immersed in the virtual network again. Su Jingming also continued to practice boxing. Suddenly Li Miao Miao, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, showed shock, carefully browsing the news on the virtual network. Jingming, Jingming, something big happened. Li Miao Miao exclaimed in the living room. Boom! Su Jingming, who smashed his fists on the stake, was taken aback by his girlfriend's exclaim, and stopped, what's the matter? Then he walked into the living room. Look! Li Miao Miao stood in the living room and made a gesture. A light curtain appeared in the middle of the living room, and a video was playing in the light curtain. 195 countries around the world announced at the same time that a press conference will be held 3 days later, at 9 p.m. Beijing time on July 21. At that time, 195 countries around the world will broadcast live at the same time. 9 o'clock in the evening of Beijing time, 8 o'clock in the morning of Metropolitan time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon of Foggy time, 10 o'clock in the evening of Edo time. Different time zones around the world, all at the same time. With such a big move, 195 countries around the world have formed the Blue Star Alliance. Nothing has been revealed about this press conference. The more confidential it is, the more important it is. A short video, one by one sliding across the light curtain. Now the entire network has been bombarded with sudden news, and countless netizens are expressing their opinions. It is indeed a major event. Su Jingming solemnly said, it is likely to be a major event that affects the destiny of mankind globally. There are too many countries in the world. Li Miao Miao also nodded, it is said that there are 195 countries, but in fact some small countries can't keep up with a small town in Xia state. 195 countries announced at the same time that this is an attitude. Once so solemnly, I still formed the Blue Star Alliance to develop luminous Mars. At first, human beings boarded fluorescent Mars for the first time. After that, countries madly developed aerospace technology and rushed to develop fluorescent Mars. In the end, 195 countries around the world formed the Blue Star Alliance to jointly develop fluorescent Mars. Su Jingming nodded. Form Blue the Star Alliance's development of Glory Mars is the biggest thing in the past few decades. I don't know why this time. There was a lot of discussion on the internet, but no news was revealed, and it was in a state of complete confidentiality. Li Miao Miao was also very concerned. The level of confidentiality is very high. Su Jingming has expectations, let's watch the live broadcast in 3 days. The world is boiling over for this press conference, and most of the topics on the internet are about the upcoming press conference. Because of such a big move, it has only happened once in the past 100 years, and that time was the formation of the Blue Star Alliance. This time, what is it for? Time passed day by day, and it still came to July 21, at 8:55 p.m. in the capital of Xiaguo. It's going to be broadcast worldwide soon. I don't know what's important. At Su Jingming's new house, Mr. Su Jingming's parents, Li Miao Miao's parents, and Su Jingming Li Miao Miao, all of them gathered in the living room, and the global live broadcast had long been locked in the light curtain. The capital, Luhas residence. Dad, do you know what's the major event in this global live broadcast? Luhas residence also gathered a large family of people, and they were all waiting for this global live broadcast conference. I don't know, the level of confidentiality is very high. Lu Hai sat there and said, don't worry, it will be officially announced in a few minutes, and you will know it after reading it. Lu Hai is not clear, but I heard one sentence above. This time the list of national key cultivations is related to the Global Live Broadcast Conference on July 21. Global Live Conference, what is the big deal? Cheng family also gathered. Cheng Luwei and his wife, the eldest son Cheng Zitong, and the second son Cheng Zihao. Dad, don't you know about this press conference because of your network? Cheng Zihao asked in surprise, sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed, eating bananas. His father, Cheng Luwei, is the controller of the Tiger Shark Group, a giant company with a market value of 5 trillion, and his influence may be greater than that of some small country leaders. On this planet, even he does not know the secret, that obviously, the level of confidentiality is extremely high. I don't know. Cheng Luwei solemnly said, I've inquired, this time it was released by 195 countries at the same time. In fact, most heads of state don't know it. Only the 32 member states of the alliance know the secret. Blue Star Alliance, the general matter can be decided by the 5 major council states through consultation. Even if the major event determines the global destiny, 32 council nations can decide. As for more small countries in the alliance, they waved the flag and shouted. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com has no right to decide, they only have the right to obey the decision of the alliance. If it affects the destiny of mankind globally, it will definitely affect the destiny of our Tiger Shark Group. Cheng Luwei said, let's take a good look at this press conference. Cheng Zitong and Cheng Zihao also watched carefully. The Blue Star Alliance was formed that year, and exchanges between countries have greatly improved. The Tiger Shark Group has received dividends and penetrated the group into many countries around the world. A strong group must closely follow the trend of the world and follow the trend. At this moment, most of the world's people are watching this live broadcast, whether it is day or night, rich or poor, in various countries and regions around the world, such as Xia Country, Rome Country, White Eagle Federation, Tianzhu Country, Cherry Blossom Country and so on. All entertainment on the internet is stopped. All live broadcast platforms, video platforms and all official media, no matter how refreshed, there is only one program, this global live broadcast conference. Even all kinds of big screens on the street, advertising screens, are also playing this conference. At this moment, it is very difficult for people living on this planet to know this live broadcast. It's going to start. Su Jingming and Li Miao Miao and their children are all sitting in the living room, watching the live broadcast on the screen. In the live broadcast, the representatives of 195 countries are all seated, and the current Secretary General Angus of the Blue Star Alliance sits on the main seat. I am honored to be able to host this press conference, because it will be a press conference recorded in our human history. Secretary General Angus said with a smile. He speaks Roman, but in the territory of Xia in all media, the voice played is Chinese, and the voice played in Sakura country is Japanese. The voice heard in various countries is the lingua franca of each country.